You know it's campaign season when the political yard signs start popping up everywhere, right? They're on every lawn, every street corner, a little piece of political real estate. But what happens when that real estate just vanishes overnight? Well, we're going to break down a local news story where missing signs aren't just a simple mystery, they're a full-blown accusation.
So what's the deal here? Is it just some random kids causing trouble? A coordinated effort? Or maybe something else completely? A local story out of Shasta County claims to have the answer. And trust me, it's way more pointed than you might think. Let's dive in.
Okay, first things first, let's look at the central event. This was all reported by a local publication called Shasta Unfiltered. And right off the bat, the author makes it clear. They believe what's happening here is anything but random.
So the main claim is this. Signs for one specific candidate, Clint Curtis, are being systematically stolen. Now, the article doesn't just call it vandalism. It uses the phrase targeted campaign, which, really raises the stakes here.
And it's not just a general complaint. The article gets super specific about where this is all going down. We're talking high-traffic, high-visibility spots all over District 2, like Swayze Drive and Plaza Road. The suggestion is pretty clear. These thefts are designed for maximum impact, to literally erase the candidate's name from public view. Now, to make this all feel a little less like a statistic and more like something real, the report zooms in on a personal story. It really tries to build its case from the ground up. And they use this quote from a local homeowner to give the story a voice. It turns the whole thing from just a list of missing signs into a real problem that, according to the article, people are noticing day in and day out. That phrase, empty stakes are everywhere, that paints a pretty vivid picture, doesn't it? Okay. So we've got a pattern of theft, and we've got a personal account. But the article doesn't stop there, not by a long shot. This is where it moves from just reporting an incident to pointing a finger and making a direct accusation about who's to blame and why. And there it is, the source, Shasta Unfiltered, flat out frames these thefts as a political tactic. The article is basically saying this isn't just some crime. It's a deliberate strategy used by the left, who, in the author's opinion, are feeling like they're losing ground.
The article also brings up the law here. It points out that, stealing political signs is actually illegal in California. It's a misdemeanor. But the author argues enforcement can be pretty lax. The idea is that perpetrators are banking on the fact that most people won't go through the trouble of legal action over a $20 sign, which lets the whole practice just keep happening.
And this is where the story connects those missing signs to a much, much bigger political argument. The article claims it's not just about the signs themselves, it's about what the candidate, Clint Curtis, actually stands for.
So according to the source, Curtis's entire platform is built around this idea of election integrity. He's pushing for things like live ballot reconciliation and even full video recording of the entire election process. His slogan really says it all. Don't trust us, see for yourself. It's all about total transparency.
And here's how they tie it all together. The article concludes that the sign thefts aren't just an attack on a candidate, but a direct attack on his message. It suggests that the very act of stealing his signs is the proof that his platform of election integrity is supposedly so desperately needed.
So that's the narrative laid out in the article. And to really understand this story, it's pretty important to know exactly where this information and this very specific point of view is coming from.
The entire perspective we've just walked through comes from an opinion piece with a title that, it doesn't really mince words. Another example of liberals having to cheat to win. It was written by Rex Ballard and published by the outlet Shasta Unfiltered. That publication describes itself as serving the North State with honest news and entertainment. So if you want to read the original piece or just see more of their content, you can find them online at their website.
And all this brings us to one final thought. This whole local story is really a fascinating case study, and it kind of leaves us with a big question, doesn't it? How does something as small, as seemingly insignificant as a missing $20 plastic sign become a major symbol in a much larger political battle? What does it tell us about how these narratives get built and fought over, literally one front yard at a time?